what it does. It's a neuroprotectant. Do you know what that means? It could prevent Alzheimer's. And it's illegal. So we're not going to go on the human side. We're going to stay on the pet side of things. And when I was at the University of Vermont is when I found out that animals have 10 times more receptors, or they don't know how many more. They just know it's a lot more receptors than we do. And as you know, the receptors are all throughout the brain, the body, the spinal cord, the organs, the digestive system. They're all there. Mm. And what it does, it's called the endocannabinoid system. And what it does is it regulates things like mood, anxiety, fear, how we digest things. Inflammation is the biggest thing. So that's why people think it sounds like some miracle elixir, because basically every day I get, like you, hundreds of questions. My dog has this, will it help? And I literally go look up the disease, see what is its origin, what is it caused from, and 9 times out of 10, it's inflammation of something, an organ, the body, whatever it is. So I can say, yep, CBD will help because it will get rid of the inflammation. That's what it's supposed to do. They don't know what CBD is. So we have to remember that CBD is being used as a marketing term. So that's why I told that little story. Is CBD the most important compound in the cannabis plant for dogs? Absolutely. But it by itself is no good. Not that it's no good. It's not nearly as good as when it's working with all of the other compounds in the plant, including THC. So there's CBG, there's CBDA, there's a million different compounds in it, terpenes, flavonoids, just like a lavender plant, and how when they extract the the oil from the lavender plant, they're probably most of the time doing it like we're doing it with the cannabis plant. And what we do, which is also very important and makes us different, is we only extract from the flower, from the hemp flower. Now I say hemp flower because the United States government has named hemp any cannabis that has less than 0.3% THC in it, which is perfect for pets. That's all they need, is that little bit to make all of it work together. It's called the entourage effect. So I like to explain it as, imagine that there is a receptor in the brain, and that the CBD is going to the receptor. The other, a terpene, one of my favorite terpenes is myrcene, which you find in a lot of other plants. It actually acts as a lubricant for the CBD to get to the receptor faster. So that's how they kind of like all work together. Even other essential oils help CBD medicine work well. For instance, frankincense is another essential oil that works. Not only does it reduce inflammation, it has a million benefits, it also helps full spectrum CBD medicine work better. So this isn't like, CBD isn't something that we've never heard of. Other plants even have it. They just don't have it as much as the cannabis plant has it. So you're always going to want to look for CBD medicine for pets and for humans. You want it to say full spectrum hemp extract on it. And what that means is that it has been extracted and it has kept all the compounds, all the cannabinoids, all the terpenes, all of them are all together, which is how the medicine works best. And that's what you little seizure. Like right when she woke up, she'd have one fall over and then pop back up and go again. But I watched this dog go for, I have videos of her, watch this dog from, they brought her in to be put down to running, begging for food, playing with other dogs. She can barely see. She's deaf. I mean, it was the most unbelievable thing to watch. And I just thought to myself, every senior needs to be on a CBD regimen. Yeah. Dog, human. You don't need to ache. You don't need to be in pain. Aches and pains in us cause us stress and anxiety. They do the same thing for dogs. So it's amazing. I have extracted full spectrum, meaning half the things that if you're not eating, getting the whole root or the whole fruit or the whole plant, you're usually getting only a part of it. So powdered turmeric that we put as a spice has literally nothing in it, because it's almost like taking CBD out of, the full spectrum and just putting it in something. Yeah. So CBD by itself has benefits, but nothing like when it's working all together. So think of it that way. When you take certain things out of certain plants, MCT oil, it's basically taken out just parts of a plant, a vegetable oil. So, and it's important to know where that MCT oil came from also. It's a powder, because then you can mix it in anything, put it on anything. So be aware of CBD isolates, but other than that, there's been no proof, Now, people go, there's not a lot of research out there. Israel is actually the leader in research, and there really is no evidence of anyone ever dying from medical cannabis, whether it was a drug interaction, whether it was they ate it, smoked it, rubbed it, did too much. There has never been anything recorded, because it doesn't affect the same system. It doesn't affect our breathing and our heart. It doesn't affect those systems like an opioid or prescription drugs do. So it doesn't shut down those systems where we die. It just comes, if we get too much of it, it just comes out. A dog with too much CBD is usually just has some diarrhea. She doesn't want to make the recommendation because they don't know. All they know is that cannabis is something they smoked in college, maybe. I don't know. But that is what it's most used for, is for seizures. There is actually a human drug that is FDA approved. And how they got it FDA approved is that they synthesized medical cannabis. That's what Big Pharma does, so that they could be the first on the market. It's called Epidiolex, I believe, and it is a human drug that is given to children for seizures. So again, inflammation, seizures are one of my favorite things to cure, because it's so fast. It stops when the seizure is happening. It stops it. With a tincture under the lip. It is magic. It is the most amazing thing I have ever seen. And I've watched it with dogs when I've had an opportunity to stop it. But it's every time they're having that seizure, there's damage happening. So preventing them, and again, a dog that has it in their system and it's in their system again, what CBD medicine does is bring the body back to homeostasis. Now, it's not going to get there if there's prescription drugs and toxic flea and tick and bad food. It's going to have a lot more hard time getting there, but it's certainly going to help, because it's going to reduce inflammation. But as you know, this isn't going to solve all the problems. It's going to help and solve a lot of them. Good diet, keeping them away from those toxic chemicals and things like that. One of my dogs just got something between her toes. It could have been a bite that then became some sort of little polyp. But yes, it is amazing how it shrinks. What it does is it basically, even if it were, what it does with cancerous cells or tumors is that it actually suffocates the cancer cells. So it, just waiting for that to put remedy on it also. Like I said, anybody who is this sick, whether it be a human or an animal, I say load it up. Because you can't get too much, and why not get it through the bloodstream, through the digestive system, through the skin? Why not get it in every way possible? So that's why I say that. And my salves and the tinctures, where I feel like when you're doing both, you're working from the outside and the inside at the same time. Totally. And that's what I've done to get rid of so many tumors. I'm like the tumor queen. I get rid of so many tumors. And it's so bad because I have such bad pictures, because I just would be going, oh my gosh. And I tell everybody, and I'm terrible. I never took pictures. So we have pictures. The best pictures we have, which is good, are those of actual customers who sent us pictures. Yeah. So even my own medicine blows my mind, where I think I put it up on the page, on the CBD page that we're doing together, of Olivia, who her tumor, after 13 years, fell off in 2 weeks. Oh, wow. And that's amazing. I'm like, yes. So it's every day I get stories. Every day we get calls. It it is a miracle. And the reason that it's been kept from us is because it does solve so many problems. So Big Pharma doesn't like that. It really will replace, it already does. It replaces Apoquil. It replaces Rimbidol. I may be saying some of these wrong. Anything that's given, steroids, these steroids, I mean, where do we think Cushing's comes from? Where do we think these weird diseases and allergies come from? So it shouldn't be that way, but this is the world we live in. And thank goodness there's people like you.
And you.
And